Hey darlings! Here we have Soraya Sobeda's Antonio Lopez inspired vegan Puerto Rican Pollo Guisado made with jackfruit. Word, I'm gonna eat this right now. Oh my god, I can't wait. It's so delicious. Antonio, Jessica, Grace, Jones, and all the other girls. Come have some. Come over. Come on. This is the brand of jackfruit that I'm using, which is a brand called RID. I found it in the Asian supermarket that's here. I'm gonna show a little bit of the spices that I use. This paprika smoke by Chicolin, I got this on Amazon. It totally gives you more meat flavor with your vegan dishes. It's very good. Vogue. Now, no, I'm not talking about Vogan, but this is a very appropriate name for me as the queen of healthy Latin cooking. Vogue brand chicken base. It says vegetarian. I believe this is vegan as well. This is a really good substitute to give you meat flavor. It's really good, low in sodium. I use this, and they have a beef flavored one that's also vegan vegetarian. You check it out yourself and you determine. I'm saying this dish is vegan, and if you want to argue with me and say, girl, it's not, whatever. Another thing that I like a lot that I use is this ham. It states vegan on the label. There you go. This is amazing too. The sodium is not that bad in comparison to Goya adobo. I'm not using much of that in my spice arsenal because the sodium is really high. I've been weighing and measuring all my spices now. This product with the Vogue chicken beef, vegetarian, vegan, very good, very good. That's what I'm using in this recipe. We've got some whole oregano, we've got some cumin, your traditional spices for Puerto Rican cooking for me anyway. A little bit of garlic powder. I have homemade sofrito recao. We're going to use some of that. We're going to use some Goya olive oil that's infused with achote and natto seeds as usual, right? And then that whole can of jackfruit we're going to use, and that's one serving for me. I eat the whole thing. I'm going to have that with some basmati white rice, and I'm putting some green peas. And actually Green Giant frozen peas is the only peas that I saw in the supermarket frozen that doesn't have any sodium. So we use that in the recipe. Those are all the ingredients. Other things may come up in the recipe that I may have missed in this explanation, but we'll move forward. Here's the jackfruit, and I rinsed her very well. It's a plant, right? It's a fruit. This is what it looks like in these triangles. And then I'm gonna just show you what I do is you just press it, you just squish it down, and you see how it breaks up. And then usually the center is hard. So what you're gonna do is you're just gonna chop that piece off, right? And you're gonna see that it breaks up like that. And then I don't waste any part of the jackfruit. Then I cut the harder sections into smaller pieces. So this one too has a tough center. So you'll just cut it and you just squish it down. So that's basically how I do my jackfruit. So I prep it like that. And this one's kind of hard, so you're gonna have to press harder. That's how I started. So I'm gonna do that and we'll be back. Okay, boys and girls, so this is the jackfruit. This is the way I like it. I like to keep some chunky. I mean, this is emulating me, pollo guisado. So I get like the pulled chicken or pulled pork factor that jackfruit will give you. Maybe some people don't add these little round parts like the seed. I eat the whole thing, girl. I mean, it's all jackfruit, so I'm not into cosmetics here, but I don't like to get it too fine. Now in the beginning when I was making jackfruit, I stewed it on the stove for too long. I stewed it on the stove for about 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and then I put it in the oven to get a little crispy for another like 20 minutes, and it was too soft for me. Not horrible. The flavor was definitely there. I could tell the texture was there for this jackfruit to emulate chicken, just like I started emulating a woman and now I am a woman. This will never be really chicken, and I will never be a cisgender woman, but I'm a trans woman. Alright, you get the analogy, hopefully. If not, well, that's just who I am as my humor. But I wanted the texture to be firmer. So this is what we're going to do. I'm going to take all of this, I'm going to put it in a saucepan. We're going to cook it with all the spices and oil and all of that for 3 to 5 minutes, just so all the flavors get absorbed, right? And then we're going to put it in the oven on a baking sheet for 20 minutes. I like my pollo guisado texture. I don't want it soft. I don't like my pollo guisado too saucy. So I'm going to show you how I do it, okay? And what I'm going to start with is my recao and my oils. What I use is my recipe of sofrito recao. I use a half a cup. I like it because this is what gives me my Latin flavor, alright? And so this is what I start with. This is a base to all Latin cooking. Is your cilantro, green pepper, garlic, onion, and culantro, which I could not find in California, but I'm able to find it here in New York for whatever reason. That's just the way it is. I get it, you know. And in my cooking show videos moving forward, I'll just be saying that a lot. Like, oh, I was able to find it in Cali. Like, there's a particular cheese that's vegan that I love, that I used to use in Cali. Find in Cali easily, can't find that shit here. That's the way it goes. East Coast, West Coast. You know, one day I'm gonna have Soraya's Fierce Kitchen and Market, and everything that I find on East and West Coast will be available in East and West Coast, okay? So watch out for my Kickstarter campaign. So I'm adding 3 tablespoons, maybe 4. I'm gonna go with 4 tablespoons of olive oil infused with annatto. You see how beautiful? That's what gives Latin food color, alright? No artificial food coloring, and annatto definitely does the trick. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna turn the stove on. So I like to saute my sofrito and olive oil as a starter. My mama told me, she says, always saute your sofrito recao first. So I've been doing it like that. That's how I cook. And then I also like to cook my spices. So I like to add all my herbs and spices and let them cook before I add, in this case, jackfruit. Back in the day, it was before I added the chicken or whatever it was that I was using. I'm gonna put a teaspoon of my smoked paprika. I'm gonna put some garlic. That's probably like a teaspoon there too as well. The garlic is like stuck down in there. It'll work. This is Soraya's Fierce Kitchen. That's how it is, girl. I like adding oregano because to me, oregano with a pollo guisado just kicks it. I like taking the flakes and going like that, like my mama used to do, and placing it there. God bless my mom. She taught me how to cook. And then I like going into, this is the vegan ham that I showed you. I'm using a half a teaspoon. And then on the vegan chicken and beef flavors, I like using a tablespoon because it's low sodium, it's got a lot of good flavor, it's got some nice color. Here's one, and then the vegan beef that I have. It's the vegan beef. I'm gonna go with a tablespoon of that too. Now this can serve 2 people. Basically what we're doing is frying. There's oil and there's herbs and spices. And here we're adding the jackfruit. And now I'm gonna just stir this. I'm gonna add a little bit of water, and we're gonna cook this for 3 to 5 minutes on the stove, medium heat. Here's a measuring cup, that is an 1/8 cup. That's how much water I'm gonna add. I would have added Spanish olives too. I don't do that anymore because of the salt. So now, I just turned on the heat to medium high. I'm gonna put the timer for 4 minutes, and then we'll be back. Okay, boys and girls. She's got 4 minutes on the stove, and you can see how she is, right? And you see the beautiful color? She's gonna get even prettier. Because what I do now is put her to a cookie sheet. Don't do that right now. Preheat your oven to 375 degrees. So when you're ready to put your jackfruit in there, the oven is hot, it's there waiting for you, saying, yo, bring it on, papito, bring it on, mamita, bring it on. So I put cooking spray on the non-stick. That's the way I do it. If you don't want to use cooking spray, which I started using less of that because I feel there's something in there now that my body's rejecting, then put a couple of tablespoons of your favorite oil and put a coating there. Remember, you're dealing with jackfruit. It has absolutely no fat. And you want this to emulate chicken or a meat dish. So you gotta add some fat. You can go ahead and do this with very little fat or none. I mean, I'm not gonna tell you how to cook. I'm just saying, for me, what I feel I like to have with these vegan recipes, meatless recipes. And you see the fat that's remaining in this pot? You think I'm gonna like wash this pot? Hell no. When my white rice is cooked, I'm gonna put the rice in here and soak up all that fat that's there. When it's not a lot of fat, but there's fat. I'm not gonna put that to waste. That's crazy. I'm not gonna throw that away. There's no way. I save everything, every bit of flavor that a dish may have, somehow, some way. I'm gonna make sure it sustains and stays within the recipe and the dish, and then I get to enjoy it and savor it. And then hopefully you get to enjoy it and savor it too if you follow this recipe, or you come to my food stand, or hopefully a restaurant. East Coast, West Coast, another Kickstarter campaign. If you want to spray this with cooking spray, you could. You are going vegan, meatless, so you want it to kind of, when it gets to your taste buds, say, okay, yeah, texture's there, flavor's there, and some fat. And then, you know, I'm cutting down sodium. You got to deal with that. I explained that to you. So now we're going to pop this beautiful tray of Antonio Lopez inspired Soraya Sobrada vegan Puerto Rican Pollo Guisado made with jackfruit, and we're putting her in the oven for 15 to 20 minutes. Keep an eye on her at 375 degrees. Okay, we're 8 minutes in from the 20. Can you see how that's cooking up? It's really hot, so the camera's not going to be able to handle it. But oh my god, it's like so beautiful. Okay, it's going to be less than 20 minutes. It's going to be like maybe another 3 minutes in there. I'm cooking rice now to accompany it, and so then we'll be back with that. Okay, do it to your liking though, of course. Do it to your satisfy. BT Express, honey. Okay, I took her out of the oven, so she was in the oven for about 12 minutes, not 20. She looks incredible. You could see she got a little crispy on the sides there. With Spanish olives, would really have the look of pollo guisado. Red pimientos, you know, that's very typical with Latin dishes. You'll see how I'm serving it with white rice. I grew up with peas and carrots, cubed potato, and the chicken guisado like that. Tostones on the side would be amazing with this dish for sure. I love my rice with the salsita. Now I make a salsa for my empanadas, and that's what I may serve the rice with. Maybe not, because I like this, like I said, dry. It's perfect. Time to win off for the rice. I have the rice here. Yep. She's cooked. And then I'm taking my jackfruit and I put it over the rice. Remember, this is a lot. I'm not going to put all of it because I want you to still see the rice. I then add the peas because, you know, I have a lot of rice here. I decided not to go there. But that's how that is going to be served. I'm going to sit down with a Goya Malta Light and enjoy this. So here's to all of you. Have a wonderful day. Thank you for watching my show. Aprovecha.